My beloved child, pause for a moment and listen carefully, because this message has reached you at a moment when your heart may need reassurance more than you realize. You may have been moving through your days wondering why certain things feel different, why your intuition has become stronger, why you sometimes feel as though something is changing around you even though you cannot yet see what it is. Today, I want you to breathe deeply and remember that you are not walking through life without guidance. God sees the road you are traveling. God knows the battles you have fought silently. God knows the nights when you questioned whether your prayers were being heard, and God knows every tear that you wiped away before anyone else could see it. This message is not here to fill your heart with fear. It is here to remind you that you are protected, watched over, and worthy of peace. Archangel Michael represents courage, protection, strength, and the willingness to stand firmly when fear tries to control the mind. So if you have been feeling unusually alert, sensitive, or uncertain lately, do not immediately assume that something terrible is coming. Sometimes your spirit becomes more attentive simply because you are entering a period of growth. Sometimes God closes one door not to punish you, but because the room behind that door no longer belongs to your future. Sometimes the strange feeling inside your heart is not a warning of danger but an invitation to slow down. Pray, think clearly, and choose wisely. You have spent enough time allowing fear to tell you stories that have no evidence behind them. Today, choose discernment instead. If there is a situation in your life that genuinely makes you uncomfortable, respond with wisdom, protect your personal information, maintain healthy boundaries, stay connected with people you trust, and seek appropriate help if you ever have a real reason to believe you are in danger. But do not allow an unknown fear to become the ruler of your life. God did not give you a spirit that requires you to live terrified of every shadow. You were created with the ability to think, to observe, to pray, to make decisions, and to walk forward with courage. There may be people watching your progress from a distance, wondering how you continue to rise after everything you have experienced, but their attention does not automatically mean danger. Sometimes people observe because they are curious. Sometimes they compare themselves to you. Sometimes they admire your resilience without knowing how hard you had to fight to develop it. And sometimes people simply move on with their own lives. Do not turn every unknown person into an enemy. Your peace is too valuable for that. Instead, ask God for wisdom to recognize what deserves your attention and what deserves to be released. My beloved child, you have survived moments that once convinced you that you would never recover. You have experienced disappointment, rejection, silence, confusion, and situations that forced you to become stronger than you wanted to be. Yet you are still here. That alone is evidence that your story has not ended. There are chapters of your life that you have not even opened yet. There are opportunities you have not encountered, conversations you have not had, friendships you have not formed, places you have not visited, and versions of yourself you have not yet discovered. So do not allow one fearful thought to convince you that your future is already written in darkness. Your future is still unfolding. God can bring clarity where there was confusion. God can bring peace where there was anxiety. God can bring strength where you felt weak. And God can bring unexpected blessings through circumstances you currently do not understand. If you have been praying for protection, let this moment become a reminder to combine faith with wisdom. Faith does not mean ignoring common sense. Faith means trusting God while still using the mind and resources you have been given. If you are going somewhere, make sensible plans. If something genuinely feels unsafe, leave and contact someone you trust. If you receive suspicious messages, do not engage recklessly, block, report, and protect your accounts. If you ever face a credible threat, seek help from the appropriate people. These practical actions do not contradict spirituality. They are part of taking care of the life God has given you. And now, release the fear that says you must constantly look over your shoulder. You do not need to live like a prisoner of your imagination. You are allowed to enjoy your morning. You are allowed to step outside. You are allowed to laugh again. You are allowed to dream again. You are allowed to believe that something beautiful can still happen to you. Archangel Michael, in the language of spiritual symbolism, reminds you that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing wisdom and peace even when fear appears. So today, stand tall inside yourself. Say quietly, I choose peace over panic. I choose wisdom over assumptions. I choose faith over fear. I protect myself without becoming afraid of life. I trust God to guide my steps. Let those words settle into your heart. There is a difference between intuition and anxiety, and learning that difference can change your life. Intuition often brings a quiet sense that something deserves attention. Anxiety can create endless scenarios, demanding certainty about things you cannot possibly know. When your mind begins saying, something terrible is definitely going to happen, pause and ask yourself, what evidence do I actually have? That one question can interrupt a storm of fear. You do not have to believe every thought that enters your mind. Thoughts are not always facts. Feelings are real, but feelings are not always predictions. You can acknowledge a feeling without allowing it to control your decisions. This is part of spiritual maturity. My beloved child, perhaps you came across this message because you needed to hear that you are not forgotten. Perhaps you have been asking for a sign. Perhaps you have been wondering whether God still hears you after everything that has happened. Let this moment remind you that prayer does not always arrive as an immediate answer. Sometimes the answer is patience. Sometimes it is a closed door. Sometimes it is a person leaving. Sometimes it is an unexpected opportunity. Sometimes it is simply the strength to survive another day. Do not underestimate the blessing of strength. You once prayed for the strength you now possess. You may not recognize it because it developed through painful experiences, but it is there. Look at how differently you respond now. Look at how many things no longer have the power to break you. Look at how much you have learned about boundaries, self-respect, patience, and love. You are becoming someone your past self would be proud to meet. That transformation is sacred. And if someone from your past is watching your life, wondering about your progress, remember that their attention does not determine your destiny. Your life does not need to become a performance designed to prove something to anyone. You do not need to become successful just to make someone regret losing you. You do not need to become beautiful just to make someone jealous. You do not need to become powerful just to make someone afraid. Become better because you deserve to become better. Heal because you deserve peace. Grow because your soul deserves expansion. Love because love is beautiful, but never abandon yourself in the process. There is a new kind of strength waiting for you, and it is quieter than the strength you used to know. It is not about fighting everyone. It is about knowing what is worth fighting for. It is not about proving that you are strong. It is about knowing when to walk away. It is not about being constantly alert for enemies. It is about becoming so grounded that fear no longer controls your choices. So if you were expecting this message to tell you that you must fear a particular date or remain locked inside your home because someone is supposedly waiting for you, release that fear. No spiritual message should replace real evidence, practical safety, or your own judgment. Instead, take the deeper message. There may be a season in your life when you need to slow down, protect your energy, reconsider certain relationships, and become more intentional about where you place your trust. That is a message worth carrying. Your attention is precious. Your time is precious. Your heart is precious. Stop giving unlimited access to people who have repeatedly shown you that they do not know how to handle your trust. You can forgive someone without giving them access to you again. You can love someone without returning to the same unhealthy situation. You can wish someone well without allowing them to disturb your peace. You can pray for someone from a distance. This is not cruelty. This is wisdom. God does not ask you to destroy yourself in order to prove that you are loving. There is a difference between compassion and self-abandonment. Learn that difference. It will protect your future. And as you move into the next chapter, remember that not every delay is rejection. Sometimes the delay is preparation. Not every ending is failure. Sometimes the ending is protection. Not every silence means abandonment. Sometimes silence gives you the space to hear your own heart again. You have been searching for answers outside yourself for so long that you may have forgotten how powerful your own discernment can become when it is grounded in truth. Pray, reflect, observe, and then act with wisdom. Do not rush because someone online told you that something must happen at a specific time. Your life is more valuable than a dramatic prediction. Your relationship with God is deeper than a countdown.